What are you doing?
I'm reading.
But that book doesn't have any words in it, just those tiny dots.
It's a book for people who are blind like me. The dots stand for letters. It's called Braille.
That's so cool. How does it work?
Have you ever noticed the little raised dots on elevator signs, restroom doors, and even cereal boxes, and wondered what they are? These dots are actually a way to write letters that you can feel rather than see. It's called Braille, and its invention by Louise Braille is a perfect example of how a challenge can lead to creativity. Let's find out how. Inventors come in all shapes, sizes, and ages. Remarkably, Louise Braille invented Braille when he was just a teenager, and eventually his invention would bring the gift of reading and writing to millions around the world. To see how it all started, let's travel back in time to France in the early 1800s. Louise Braille lost his sight as a young child. At the time, most people who were blind faced futures with little chance of success. But Louis's father had other plans.
Our son will learn to read and write. He will get an education and succeed in life.
So unlike most blind children, Louis went to school. And just by listening and speaking, he became one of the best students in his class. Even so, his parents knew that Louis needed a better education. When he was 10, they sent him to a special school for blind children in Paris. Louis did very well at the school and enjoyed making new friends. The school even had a few books in which the letters were raised so he could feel them, allowing Louis to read by himself. But it took a very long time.
A, T, at.
Then, about a year later, a former captain in the French army visited the school. He gave a speech to the students and teachers about a code he invented, which he called night writing.
My code uses combinations of dots and dashes to stand for the sounds of letters and words. I thought that soldiers in the battlefield could use it to communicate silently at night. But maybe your school can use it.
This code is a great idea, but it's far too complicated to memorize and use. Maybe I can come up with something better.
It took him 3 years, but when he was still only 15 years old, Louis finally succeeded in inventing a new system of writing. He used combinations of raised dots to stand for letters, common words, numbers, punctuation, and even the spaces between words.
My system is so much simpler than the captain's and much easier to learn.
This is wonderful. It will make it much easier for me to learn to read and spell.
Louis was determined to tell others about his new way to write letters, and even had a meeting with the King of France. But unfortunately, Louis could not convince people to use his system. But Louis persisted, and eventually the Braille method of writing caught on everywhere, helping millions and millions of people. As Louis Braille himself said,
Access to communication is access to knowledge, and that is vitally important. We must be treated as equals, and communication is the way we can bring this about.
Louis Braille proved that even big challenges can be overcome with creativity, determination, and hard work.